Hi, this is Todd Baker, your certified mortgage planner, and today we're going to take a deep dive into down payment assistance programs that are available in Texas. And so, first off, I want to go over what I normally get as a question is someone will ask, "Hey, I've heard about a first-time homebuyer program," or my mom or my relative or a friend or someone told me there's first-time homebuyer programs available. And the truth is, or the other thing is, let me back up. There's also the Homes for Heroes. You're a firefighter, you're a nurse, etc. I heard there's programs out there for us. And so I'm going to go over all of them. So first off, most of what you see in the marketplace in terms of what the programs are called are marketing only. You know what I mean? They're in other words, many of the programs are not just for first-time home buyers. Some of them are, and some of them are not. So, and for the first-time home buyer, there's also a tax credit program available. So it sort of depends, and there's the same amount of grant available if you are a first-time home buyer or if you are not. So once again, it depends on the program. So the other thing is it's a down payment assistance is really what it is. So when you're going to buy a house, you're always going to have a down payment, 3% minimum on conventional, 3.5% on FHA, 0 if it's VA, and 0 down if it's USDA. So those two, USDA is the rural government program. So if you're a veteran or if you're looking out in the country, you might be able to qualify for one of those. But most people are doing conventional and FHA. That's what you qualify for. And those are 3 to 3.5% down. And then on top of that, you have closing costs. You figure just roughly about $3,000 will cover your closing costs, plus about another $3,000 for taxes and insurance you have to set up because you have to prepay insurance up front. Then you have to set up an escrow account typically to include property taxes and monthly insurance in your monthly payment. So you figure you probably need about $6,000 plus the down payment. And none of the programs cover all of that. So the down payment assistance fluctuates typically from 3 or 4% up to 5%. Right now, there's no money available on the 5%. One of the things that happens is some of these programs, sometimes certain buckets run out of money. So a couple things to understand. Number one, it doesn't matter if you're a first-time homebuyer or not if you have a super high income. So all the programs are for low to moderate income households. And so if you have, and there's an income limitation, I'm going to show you so you can visually see them. So let's do that real quick. So first I want to show you, this is the Hca program, the Hca 5-star. You can get a 4% grant, and I'm just going to use Dallas area. So if you look at Dallas, Fort Worth, DFW, maximum income of $88,750. So if your household income or if your qualifying income on your loan application exceeds that amount, then you're not going to qualify for the Hca program. Next up is the TD8CA, which is and it has the My First Texas Home. There's some of these are first-time home buyers, some of them are not first-time home buyer. But if you scroll down and you look once again down the Dallas, sort of Dallas-Fort Worth area right here, you can look. And now this has a little bit more broader section. So if you look here, it says non-targeted area. So let me explain targeted versus non-targeted. So every 10 years, the U.S. does a census. Based on that census, there's certain lower income areas on that census tract. And these are like within an area. So like you could be in Denton County, for example, and that'd be like one area or multiple areas, little areas of the map that are not in a targeted area and others that are. So it's very, very specific. And so for a targeted area, so part of when you're doing a pre-qual, what has to happen is I have to get not just the income that you put in your loan application, but it needs to be fully verified, determine which program you qualify for, and then based on that income, make sure it's not over the limits, and make sure it's not over the limits on all the different options. So I've had people that are looking just recently out, I use Denton for example, because I just did this. They were looking at Denton, but if you look here, they were in a 3-person family. So in a non-targeted area, it was $95,000. But their income exceeded that, but it was under 108, but the targeted area. So see the targeted area here, it's a higher income limitation, and a higher also it's income and purchase price limitation. So the targeted areas were not where they wanted to buy, so they weren't able to. In fact they weren't able to qualify for any down payment assistance because of that. So it gets, you got to really know what you're looking for. Here's one more example. This is on the Hca Program. You can see once Dallas County. So they're at the income limits on non-targeted 88,780, just like the Seth. For non-targeted areas, if you're doing a combo loan, which with the tax credit, 1 to 2 people, it's limited at 77,000. 3 or more, 88. For targeted areas, you get expanded coverage, just like I was showing you with expanded purchase price. So you have to meet all of these boxes. So for many of you, one of the things, if you do want to go down payment assistance program, you need to work with somebody that knows what they're doing. And if you've got pre-qualified and they have not looked at your income, then you're not pre-qualified. You're not pre-approved, and the person you're working with does not know what they're doing, because this has to be worked out up front, and including they need to know where you're looking. Because I can determine using the geocode locator the targeted areas and then send it back to you and say, hey, did any of these areas work? And you can determine yes or no. So you have to determine income, targeted, non-targeted, etc. for almost all these programs. So let me show you the kind of grants you can get for these programs. So here's what's available on the Seth program. So for an FHA loan, you see this FICO scores are 640. For 4% grant. That one's actually not available. That one's not available. This right here. So 4%, interest rate 5.75, interest rate 660, interest rate 5 1/4, credit score 660, grant 3%. So keep in mind that if if there's extra fees, by the way, all the programs charge some extra fees. So if you're in this program and they give you 3 or 4%, really they're covering your down payment. That's what I was saying at the beginning of this video. You can get your down payment covered, but you also could have a higher interest rate. So there's better ways of doing it. So when I do with my clients, I show you a regular loan with structuring with a lower interest rate. And then if you can get the seller to pay for your closing costs, or if you have a family member that can gift you the money, or if you have a 401k, sort of a traditional source of down payment, that's a better loan cost basis than the down payment assistance program. Flip side is, if this is your only way to buy a house, it's worth doing because houses are such a great investment and they go up in value over time, and plus you pay the note down anyway. So you definitely want to buy the house regardless, but this doesn't, just because you're getting money doesn't make it the best thing, is my point. So let me show you the other two rate offerings. So here's the TD Hca program, and as this is today 2-4. These are this My First Texas Home. These are both first-time home buyers, and you can see this one is not a first-time home buyer. The MCC is a tax credit. There are tax credits available. And by the way, the tax credit, it costs $500. The only thing that the Homes for Hero program is that if you're a teacher, a doctor, like a firefighter, a police officer, there's a whole category of public servants that what it means is you don't have to pay the $500 fee. So if you're a first-time home buyer and you're in that category, you can get the tax credit without having to pay the fee. So that's all that Home for Heroes program is. But you can see 4% grant, 5.625 up to 5.75, 3% grant, 5 1/4 up to 5 3/8%. The difference with this one is the minimum score is only 620. So that's sort of a big difference from this to the Seth program, and it has higher debt ratios, lower credit score, same pricing. Let me show you the Hca program. All right, so this is the Hca program, and you can see here's where you get the Homes for Texas Heroes for teachers, firefighters, EMS, etc., and Home Sweet Home for Texas homebuyers with low and moderate income. And yeah, see, it's free. This mortgage credit certificate, which is up to $1 per dollar savings, up to $2,000 special tax credit. See, it's free for Texas Heroes. So that's really where that comes from. But if you look at the rates, 620 is 5.875, 640 is 5.875. That's for a 3% grant. For the 4% grant, rates are higher. So bottom line is, I really like the TD Hca program. It's a second lien. You pay it back only when you sell the house. The other two are grants, but they typically come with more restrictions and higher interest rates. So either way, that gives you a really good idea of what's available. So when you're looking at down payment assistance, a couple key takeaways. Number one, it doesn't cover everything. Number two, there's higher interest rates. And number three, it's a great option if it's your only option. However, in mortgage planning, it all depends. The answer is, what's the best mortgage? It depends on what you have available, price point, your budget, your debt ratio, short and long-term financial plan, and what kind of options you have. So I have a client right now that I just showed. She can go with down payment assistance, but her mom would like to help her out with a gift. And with that gift, she's actually going to be able to do a regular FHA loan and save $103 a month. And it was over a 5-year period, a $5,000 savings over the bond program. So there are better alternatives doing a regular loan if you can qualify. So I'm an expert at this. Just reach out if you have any questions, whether you're a real estate agent with a client and need help, or if you're a consumer looking to get some feedback. I'd be happy to help you. Please feel comfortable contacting me. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.